Lovely. Okay, so now that we're breathing properly, that means we're totally filling the lungs all the way to the bottom. And that means that we can now start using a really, really important muscle, which is the diaphragm, which runs like a sort of piece of flooring, like a rug. It runs along underneath the lungs. It's sort of attached to the lungs, at the bottom of the rib cage, and it runs all the way through. So it is like a sort of like a sprung floor, like what dancers sort of bounce on, right? And now the diaphragm, it's another directional bit of the lung machine to get your head around. So if the air is going in downwards and outwards, the lungs are going this way. The diaphragm is this amazing muscle that moves down as you breathe in to make room, and then pops back up as you breathe out. And the popping back up is actually quite important. It's a little bit like when you're hiking and there's someone at the back and they're sort of giving you a like lift up the hill or something. It pushes the last bit of carbon dioxide out. It just gives you a bit of a sort of kick up the bottom, as it were. So as much as your tummy is going in and out, your diaphragm's going down and up. So why don't you, with the hands, as you breathe in, just find that diaphragm movement. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit counterintuitive to go down, because you can sort of feel other things going up at the same time. It's a bit like rubbing your head and patting the other way around, patting your head and rubbing your tummy. Now, what is so important about the diaphragm? This is a muscle that supports your airflow. So your airflow is one of the byproducts of doing deep breathing, is that you've got now air that is flowing in and out of your body at certain speeds. Now this becomes really important when you sing or speak for a living, if your voice is paying the rent as such, because you need your diaphragm to control the speed of the air, the direction of the air. It also helps with anxiety. It means that you are speaking or singing from here rather than from your throat. If you do everything from your throat and strain, you will get laryngitis and your larynx will get damaged. I've already had a couple of clients who speak for a living, a pastor and a teacher. They constantly lose their voice, and it was because they were speaking from here rather than from the diaphragm. I cannot overstress how important it is to engage your core. You probably heard that before at the gym. This is part of that. It's about using your diaphragm to support the air and push it in and out at particular moments and in ways. You get to sort of learn to play with it. However, the first thing is that it's muscle, so it needs to be in good condition. Like all muscles, like biceps, they need to do reps. They need to do one action and then the opposite action. So the diaphragm's action is two things, isn't it? Down and up. Down and up. It needs to go down and up, down and up, and down and up a lot to get in good condition. And the only way it's going to do those reps is by completely filling the lungs. So you can see where I'm going with this. Some people never, ever meet their diaphragm because they're just breathing shallowly. You can go your whole life with having a completely out of condition flabby diaphragm, and you're missing out really, because you're going to end up with a sore throat and speaking from the wrong place. So how do we exercise our diaphragm? Well, we have to fill the lungs. How do we fill the lungs? Well, cardiovascular exercise, get to that gasping point. I can't speak, I've just been walking up the hill or running. Or you go to a yoga class where they teach you proper deep relaxation breathing, often lying on the floor, because that is a sort of foolproof way to meet your full lung power. So listen up in those classes. I could take Gaz up and put his head in the bath and keep him underwater until he feels like he's going to drown, and then he'll come up and try to live. It's not such a friendly way, but it's a very quick way of half dying, and then also your instinct will kick in to make you breathe properly, and that will exercise your diaphragm. So I mean, some people might favour that, not my favourite. Alright, so have a think about in your life where you might insert some full diaphragmatic breathing, just to exercise that muscle. You need to just really give it some attention every single day, and I'll tell you, you will be so happy, particularly when we come to look at resonance later on in the course. You're going to need your diaphragm to really sort of learn all the skills about becoming a master communicator. Great. Stop there.
Cut.
Are you learning anything?